3 feet distance.
Hello. We are down the lock and we're going to do a waypoint mission. We're going to load it.
15 feet altitude. 51 feet distance.
And we're going to do it with the talking on. So sorry if it annoys you, but let's press play and see what happens.
16 feet altitude. 46 feet distance.
Upload mission. Let's go. Let's have a look. So it's going down to where I said. Oh, there you go.
17 feet altitude. Recording stopped. Recording started. Recording stopped. Recording started. 66
Okay,
feet
cool. Let's have a look.
distance.
Oh, it's looking nice. Let's see if I can scan
16
around.
feet altitude.
Lovely.
35 feet distance.
Look at that. It's going nice and slow. Just want to see if it clears the trees. Morning, everybody. Where's it going now?
17 feet altitude. 81 feet distance.
It's clearing the trees. Is it going to altitude?
17 feet altitude. 155 feet distance.
Wicked, look at that.
$18 feet altitude. 227 feet distance.
Let's have a look. And the waypoints. It's looking good. It's going to climb now to 100 feet.
18 feet altitude. 294 feet distance.
It's going up over the tree. Should do. Yeah. Yep.
65 feet altitude. 337 feet distance.
Look at that. Wicked.
$111 feet altitude.
Beautiful.
398 feet distance.
Well, it did what I wanted it to, and it's definitely great.
111 feet altitude.
I have to say.
471 feet distance.
There's the river. Let's just have a look and see where the drone is.
45 feet altitude. 502 feet distance.
And then we can have another look. Let's have a look. Oh, we come down in height.
18 feet altitude.
Oh, look.
571 feet distance.
We're flying over the river now, look at that. That's amazing. Who's about? Anybody?
18 feet altitude. 649 feet distance.
It's clearing all the trees nicely. Kept it on the right hand side. So there you go. Let's see if we can climb in altitude.
17 feet altitude. 727 feet distance.
Let's pause the mission. I think we're good.
$25 feet altitude. 787 feet distance.
Beautiful. A little pan around. Look at the countryside around.
99 feet altitude.
Oh, there's the leg.
814 feet distance.
The drone leg. We've gone to 150 feet.
165 feet altitude.
Look at that.
832 feet distance.
Wow. So there we have it. Beautiful. So,
167 feet altitude. 827 feet distance.
beautiful. Have a good look around. Now, I'm going to stop the mission and see what happens to the recording. So stop the mission.
166 feet altitude, 829 feet
There you
distance.
go, stop the mission. And I can just turn the drone around. Turn her around. And just bomb back.
166 feet altitude,
Whee.
793 feet distance.
Gorgeous. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Look at that.
165
I can
feet
hear it
altitude,
now. I
148
can already
feet
hear it
distance.
over me. Where is it? It's gone past me. There you go. Let's bring her home.
167 feet altitude,
What a great thing.
129 feet distance.
It's right over me now. I'll just stick it over there where I can see it. Look at that. And then we just do a little
166 feet altitude, 69
Camera down.
feet distance.
Is it over my head?
163
There
feet
she is.
altitude, 113 feet distance.
I hope the boat's alright. Down she comes. Right, I'm getting good at flying it.
82 feet altitude, 41 feet distance.
Here I am. Wow.
11 feet altitude, 6 feet distance.
Little cruise. Have a look about.
7 feet altitude, 115 feet distance.
I'll keep my eye on things. I'm just in tripod mode.
7 feet altitude, 172 feet distance.
That was very slow, but it's nice. Yeah. I don't know if I'm turning, am I?
7 feet altitude, 230 feet distance.
I think I'm going down here now. Have a look down here, shall we? Oh, look.
6 feet altitude, 262 feet distance.
Let's have a little pan up. Right over that, look at that.
27 feet altitude, 307 feet distance.
Look at that. Ferocious.
"28 feet altitude, 306 feet distance. "34 feet altitude, 307
down here,
feet
shall we?
distance.
Look at that.
35 feet altitude, 352 feet distance.
Go for
60 feet altitude, 482 feet distance.
Let's have a little look around, shall we? What's down here? Just go back into tripod mode.
133 feet altitude, 494 feet distance.
Let's see if I'm brave enough to drop down in the
133
river.
feet altitude, 543 feet distance.
Let's have a look.
"133 feet altitude, 552 feet distance.
Let's come out of tripod mode.
111 feet altitude, 556 feet distance.
Let's go down and have a look.
86 feet altitude, 498 feet distance.
What's down there? Let's have a look. Oh look, there it is. There's the lock.
76 feet altitude, 497 feet distance.
I'll just see what's beneath me. Nothing. Nothing is beneath me.
92 feet altitude, 461 feet distance.
Stick it in tripod mode. Let's have a look.
"91 feet altitude, 412 feet distance. "61 feet altitude, 444 feet distance.
Let's get out the way of that tree.
61 feet altitude, 439 feet distance.
Let's go for a little drive up the river.
61 feet altitude, 428 feet distance. "60 feet altitude, 70 feet distance.
Go down, shall we?
"13 feet altitude, 36 feet distance.
Now let's go for a little cruise.
"4 feet altitude, 35 feet distance.
Just having a little Superman fly at the moment. What's over there?
"4 feet altitude, 82 feet distance. Warning, aircraft battery at 25%.
Oh, I've got a low battery. That's a shame, isn't it? Oh well.
5 feet
I'm
altitude,
going to end live now.
106 feet distance.
That's it. Thanks a lot.
"6 feet altitude, 105 feet distance. Warning, aircraft battery at 23%. 8 feet altitude, 23 feet distance.
Here we go.